Hello, welcome back to Chat About It, Don't Shout About It. Before we get into that, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and switch on the notification bells so that you know when I'm releasing another video. I don't often say that at the beginning of the video. I thought I would actually do that. And of course, if you're listening, subscribe to me on Spotify as well. So a few days ago, there was the sentencing of the two teenagers that Brianna Ghey. And it was a horrific, tragic act. If you do not know what's going on, she was a transgender young girl, 16 years old, 15, 16 years old, and her life was unfortunately, she was unalived by two teenagers who were named. But the judge sentenced them on Friday, I believe it was. One got 22 years. One got 20 years. Now, I do not believe that is long enough. But of course, because of their age, they don't get the full sentence. I actually think they should be getting the full sentence. Plus the Lucy Letby, like life in prison. You know, it's horrific what they did. Unaliving someone like that. Absolutely terrible. But some people have taken to social media, I'm just going to be careful what I say here, and essentially have unfortunately made a scapegoat of Brianna Ghey, in my opinion. And of course, it's all aimed at one woman, J.K. Rowling. Apparently, it's all her fault. So I found this tweet. I did respond to this tweet. This tweet is horrific, absolutely horrible what this tweet is alleging to. J.K. Rowling, this is the trans joy you so disgustingly scorn. Brianna Ghey will never experience this joy ever again. A young trans woman whose life was cut short owing to transphobia, the very same transphobia you encourage with your rhetoric and actions. So that sounds like an allegation. But of course, you know, this overall has nothing to do with J.K. Rowling, because I think J.K. Rowling isn't a transphobe. I don't think she is. I think she takes biological facts and she says it as it is. And people, when they were younger, put her on such a pedestal that finding out that she doesn't have this perfect opinion and she's not an advocate for their community, that they're shocked and absolutely devastated by it. So, of course, everything that she says now and does now is something that is a rhetoric, and it's adding to society, and it's the thing that is causing so many of these turmoils that they go through. Now, the teens were sentenced, okay, and it was premeditated. They knew they were going to do it. They had planned it. And the girl, she told the psychiatrist, just reading here from The Guardian, she had unalived Brianna repeatedly and had found it exciting, and that she unalived her because she thought Brianna would stop being her friend. She unalived Brianna so she would always be with her, the court heard. Jenkinson, who was obsessed with people who unalive people, also admitted to the psychiatrist that she intended to take parts of Brianna's body as a token. She had previously told Ratcliffe she wanted to keep Brianna's pretty eyes, and the court heard that Brianna was, you know, hit 28 times, but there was no evidence that her unalivers took any of her body parts. It's horrific, absolutely horrific. But does that sound T-phobic to you? Does that sound T-phobic? Now, the young lad denies that he is a T-phobe, but Brianna thought that this girl was her friend. It's sad. Well, anyway, keeping on the topic of social media, because people were adamantly, you know, going on that J.K. Rowling, you know, adds to this rhetoric, she's whatever, making these insane allegations. Brianna Ghey's mum, and I will link this below. Sorry, it's not quite in shot, but she's got a petition going, and I actually think it's a very good petition, and I agree with this. petition. Let's quickly read the article. So it says, signed petition by Brianna Ghey's mum for smartphone age limit. I will make sure I link it as well so that you can go and sign it. Please do go and sign it. I think it's very important. Okay. So Esther Ghey is calling for social media apps to be banned on smartphones for under 16s after 2 youths were sentenced for her daughter's unaliving. Brianna was fatally unalived by Scarlett Jenkinson and Eddie Ratcliffe in Culchif Linear Park on February 11th last year. The pair, both now aged 16, but at the time of 15, were jailed for life with minimum terms of 22 and 20 years respectively on Friday, with a judge also lifting reporting restrictions, allowing them to be named. Good on the judge. Now, Jenkinson visited websites showing images of torture and extreme violence before she unalived Brianna, and the unaliving itself had been arranged on social messaging apps. This is the key here. This is the key. Speaking on the BBC's Sunday with Laura Kussenberg, Esther said child-safe phones monitoring children's internet use would, without doubt, have saved her daughter's life. Now, the days have gone when we had dial-up. I remember dial-up. That's my age. I remember dial-up, okay? You'd be waiting forever to get on the social media sites. But now it's so easy. She is campaigning for new laws making mobile phone companies take more responsibility in helping parents safeguard children online and monitor their internet usage. Now, obviously, it is the parents' responsibility to monitor internet usage, but it would be easier for if the mobile phone companies did actually have some sort of an assistance here. Don't know exactly what they could do. Maybe go back to the bog standard flip phone, and that is it, and with nothing on it. You text, you call, and that's it. Maybe that's what they could go back to. Anyway, going on. It is so difficult for a parent to safeguard their children. They carry a mobile phone in their pockets 24/7 now, smartphones with the internet and all the social media sites. It is so difficult to keep on top of what they're doing. We have set up a petition, which we would like all parents to sign, to have a law introduced so there are mobile phones suitable for under 16s. If you are over 16, you can have an adult phone, but if you are under 16, you can have a child's phone, which will not have all the social media apps out there now. We would also like to have software which is automatically downloaded on the parents' phones, which links to the children's phones to highlight keywords. That's a very good idea. I approve of that. Go, Mrs. Ghey. There is software already available which schools are using. I feel it is such a simple solution, and I do not understand why we have not actually done something like this already. I'm going to just say, I think I know why. It's because we never had smartphones up until several years ago, and kids' internet usage and their phone usage was very restricted up until like several years ago. Smartphones really have taken off within the last sort of 10 years. And children are just coming up to the age, and now they're using, and it's millennials. Damn it, I'm a millennial, but millennials, they add to it. You know, we think it's okay. Maybe it is something to do with millennials as well, thinking that it's actually okay to give children smartphones. I've never agreed with giving children phones anyway. They should have their imaginations free as possible. So the petition is already close to reaching the 1,000 signature mark, and if you would like to visit, and then obviously they've got the link to the petition. This petition reads, the petition is born out of a personal tragedy on February 11, 2023, when Brianna Ghey lost her life in an incident that was planned using the internet. Her unalivers had easy access to harmful content online, including the dark web. That's scary. Where they watched disturbing videos. In addition to this, during her lifetime, Brianna has also struggled with mental health issues and was secretly accessing pro-anorexia and self-harm sites on her smartphone. This story is a stark reminder of the dangers that unrestricted technology use can pose to our children. It is not just about physical harm, it is also about psychological impact. And that's very true. The internet is filled with harmful content that can be easily accessed by children without meaningful safeguards in place. We urge mobile phone companies to take responsibility for safeguarding children against such risks. We propose an age limit for smartphone usage and stricter controls over access to social media apps and unsupervised internet use. Now, according to Ofcom, 49% of 8 to 11-year-olds have a smartphone. This is early exposure and leads into dangerous territories if left unchecked. Smartphone usage in young people is also shown to impact mood, increasing the risk of depression and anxiety. It is time we protect our children from these potential harms in their digital lives. I used to work in schools. This is one of the reasons why I really, really oppose e-learning in schools. Other than the basic IT skills, of course. Carrying on, we ask you, parents, educators, concerned citizens, to join us in urging mobile phone companies to implement these changes for the safety of our children and future children. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak was asked if such a proposal was practical when speaking to broadcasters in Northern Ireland. My thoughts are with Brianna's family, he said, after the unspeakable, awful act. Hopefully the recent sentencing provides some sense of justice, he commented. I think the other thing to say is actually how Brianna's mother has responded in the face of this tragedy with empathy and compassion. I think is quite frankly extraordinary. He praised her enormous amount of humanity in the face of something that is the worst humanity, adding she deserves enormous praise for that. He continued, as a parent, I am always worried about social media and what my young girls are up to. That is why I am pleased we have passed the Online Safety Act over the last year, and that means the regulator now has tough new powers to control what is exposed to children online. If the big social media companies do not comply with that, the regulator is able to levy very significant fines on them, and the priority now is making sure the act is up and running. Thing is, do US websites also govern that? They wouldn't fall under that. So there still has to be something that has to be done with the mobile phone companies, but it's a start. It's a start. And it's incredibly tragic. So Brianna's mum is essentially saying, you know, this is all to do with mobile phone usage and what children have access to on the internet. Now, it's a strict thing. It's a very difficult thing to police. I understand that. But you can't just willy-nilly go around just blaming one person who probably had nothing to do with it for stating biological facts, which is what that tweet was doing. You could just take Brianna's Esther Ghey's approach and do what she's doing, setting up a petition and trying to do something about it that's going to actively, worldwide, hopefully get it under control. But we just don't know. But making Brianna a scapegoat for your issues against J.K. Rowling, leave her out of it. Her family have lost their child, and it's horrific. And they have the right to grieve, but they also have the right that she's not made a scapegoat of. We can take what's happened to her and we can learn from it, and we can make positive things happen from it. And that's a better thing. But not making scapegoats of her just for the sake of a movement, that's not fair. I agree with her mum. Something should be done about media online. Anyway, it's awful tragedy. I have linked the petition below. Go and check that petition out, sign it, get it into government, get it up for debating, and hopefully we can do something about it. Chat about it, don't chat about it. Let me know what you think, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.